Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are joined by our friend Bill Reynolds from Beaufort Tours.
Good morning.
Now, one of the things that people are so interested in are these immersive vacations where they're feeding their brains. We have great food, obviously, around here, so they're feeding their bellies too, but you guys offer this fabulous Beaufort and Gullah Tour, Plantation and Gullah Tour.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that. You even had a write-up in New York Times about a year ago.
It was April of 2019.
Yeah. So tell us about the tour.
So basically what we do, we start off in downtown Beaufort, give the background history of the plantation era, and then we head out to Daltall Island and we see the tabby ruins of the Berners Barnwell Sam's family plantation house. Now it was destroyed in a forest fire back in 1880, but the foundation is there, and tabby is an oyster shell mix that's very durable.
It was a building material.
Building
at the
material.
time. Yeah.
Basically, we have so many oyster shells in the water around here that they figured out a way to use it for building material.
Structures, yeah.
And they also have the only tabby roofed structure known in existence
Tabby
in the world.
roof?
The roof, it was actually an ice room or a cold room where they would keep the butter and the cheese and the milk cold throughout the summer.
Yeah.
And back in the first half of the 1800s, they actually brought big blocks of ice down from Boston.
Oh, wow.
And they would put them in this cold room or ice room and keep everything cold for the summer.
That's fabulous.
So it's a really, it steps you back in time and it gives you the entire plantation picture, rather than just going inside of a house that's been there for hundreds of years. You get to see everything else on the plantation and how it was used.
So we were known as the Newport of the South.
Exactly.
That's, I mean, how did
there were over 220 homes in downtown Beaufort. The interesting thing about them is they all face due south, which is kind of odd because they're not parallel to the street, so they get the maximum breeze coming through the doors and windows.
They did not.
They faced due
they
south.
did. Okay,
they didn't face
order
the street.
too. Gotcha.
Exactly.
But it was for the breeze.
For the breeze, had to get the breeze, and the plantation owners were making so much money growing the Sea Island long staple cotton that they already had working plantation homes out on their plantations, so they decided to build show homes or really nice summer homes downtown. And they're just incredible homes. Now, we had a great fire in 1907 that burned over 100 of the homes. So today there are 90 antebellum homes left.
90. What were some of the other crops, and what was Beaufort known for in that in the plantation time?
Early on, Beaufort was known for indigo. And they would take the indigo flower petals and pulverize them through a process into a dense, heavy paste, and that was the color of royal blue for the monarchies in Europe.
Okay.
And then when we declared our independence from England, that was the beginning of the decline of the indigo market because they were our biggest customer.
Yeah.
And so then we switched over to Sea Island long staple cotton. And that was grown on every square inch of the St. Helena district, St. Helena Island, Ladies Island, 55 plantations out there. And they grew the sailing cotton, which commanded double and triple the price of the other types of cotton.
You know, I think the thing that just comes to mind for me is that you hear about that this is what we produced, but actually those numbers don't really mean anything until you actually see the space.
Yep.
You know, and you really see and understand and experience that, how the volume happened and what that volume looks like.
There was a lot of cotton being shipped from here. There actually was a cotton triangle where the cotton produced here in the South was shipped up to New York, and it was factored, and then from there, after it was paid for, then it was shipped over to Birmingham, England, to the cotton mills, textile mills, and that's where they made it into clothing and then shipped it back to the South.
Wow.
So
it's amazing how all that happened. Amazing. Okay, now you mentioned the Sam's family.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about how it's the ruins of their plantation, but talk a little bit about them. There's Sam's Point Road. There's,
right, exactly. Sam's
are
all over Beaufort.
Yeah.
So the older brother was Lewis Reeve Sam's, and his house is on the short end of Bay Street. If you're down, if you go over the downtown bridge towards town, take a right on the short end there. And that house was actually used in the Barbra Streisand, Nick Nolte movie, Prince of Tides.
Yeah.
He was the older brother. Then his younger brother, Berners Barnwell Sam's, had two houses in downtown Beaufort in the area known as the Point. And he had 11 children with his first wife, and she was a Fripp. And then she died in childbirth on the 11th child and married the cousin and had 4 more children. So with 15 children, he had 2 houses downtown and then the tabby ruin house that we see out at Daltall Island.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so many other things that we can talk about, but most importantly, you definitely need to book ahead with these tours. Need to book ahead.
It's getting busy now. This is our busy season.
Yeah, it's like, and you're already filling up now for the summer.
Yep.
So it's definitely important to get in touch. Beaufort Tours, Bill, it's so good to hear. And you're really quickly, you're going to be in a movie.
Yes.
Your van's in a movie.
So the movie is called Stars Fell in Alabama.
See if you can find the van.
And my van will be in a scene where the stunt doubles pop out and start walking away with their suitcases when they're dropped off.
Look for the van. Where's Waldo? Thanks so much for watching Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Carrie Dillon, and we'll see you next time.